Hello everyone, welcome back. This video is all about my winter foundation routine. I wanted to show you all the different products that I'm using, and now that the weather's changed, it's definitely colder outside. I can't say I'm a fan of it, but every year when winter rolls around, I always find myself switching up my products. First thing I always do is change my moisturizer. I try to use something that's more hydrating on the skin, and for this I've been using the Aveeno Positively Radiant Sheer Daily Moisturizer. Huge thank you to Aveeno for sending me this product and for sponsoring today's video. I've actually been working with them for the last little while, and they sent me a box full of goodies to try out, and as I've been testing them, I've been putting aside my favorites. This has definitely been one of them. I think it is perfect for winter. I'll put it on the skin and you will see why. First of all, it gives your skin the most amazing glow, which in the winter is what you want, because at this point your skin is looking dull, looking lifeless. And I think the reason why it works so well for me is because it hydrates without feeling greasy, because I know if I use something that is just too rich on the skin, I feel like it doesn't fully absorb. And this is also oil-free and has an SPF of 30, which is huge because even in the winter months, you want to make sure you're still wearing your sun protection. I mean, look at that glow. All right, on to foundation. In the winter, I want matte skin, full coverage, and I want it to be long wearing. And I think it's just because I've spent the last however many months wearing more sheer, more natural foundations, but there is one that does all those things for me, and it is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r Soft Matte Long Wear Foundation. This stuff is so good, and I just feel so good when I wear it. I apply it with my fingers, and then I use a sponge to blend it out. But this gives you amazing coverage with just a little bit of product. Like, you don't need to use a lot at all to have really flawless skin. It dries down to a matte finish, which I love, but it's not one of those like overly matte foundations that gives you really flat looking skin, and it doesn't feel tight on the skin because in the winter you do not want that. But I will warn you that if it is your first time using this, you can feel like it's a little bit drying on the skin, but that's because you need to really prep your skin well. That's why I use that moisturizer that's super hydrating, because if you don't, you might think it's a little bit drying. I always have a hard time applying my foundation once my brows are on because I try to be so careful around them so I don't mess them up. And the coverage of this lasts well on me. Like, I'll apply it in the morning, I'll look at my skin at night, my skin still looks flawless. The oils do start to come in throughout the day, but I don't look overly greasy because it does a really good job at controlling my oils. All right, I'm feeling pretty good about that. I'm feeling flawless. Seriously though, looking for a good winter foundation that's matte, not overly drying. Check this out. I'm using it in the shade 240. Okay, let's catch you guys up real quick though. I have actually gone through an entire bottle of this already. I used the shade 240. I kind of felt like the shade was a little too yellow for my skin tone. I still used it anyways. I went back to the store. I tried to find a shade that matched me better, but honestly, I couldn't. So I went with the shade 240 again. As long as I like blend it down onto my neck and my ears, I feel like it works. And even if it doesn't, I'm gonna make it work because I feel good in it. Now for my concealer, I've gone back to the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer. I feel like this is just more hydrating underneath my eyes. In the summertime, I can use something that's a little more mattified, like the Tarte Shape Tape. That's a great concealer. I love it, but it can be a little too dehydrating in the winter. It has like a gel texture, so nice, but this one just seems to be working better for me. I use the shade Ginger, which is really close to my skin tone, so it doesn't do too much for brightening, but it more so just covers the dark circles, which truthfully I'm more interested in. I also bring a little bit of the product up into the inner part of the eye, like the inner tear duct, just because I have some darkness here. But this concealer, really good for coverage while still looking natural, especially when you set it with a powder. Now, to set, I have been obsessed with the Dermablend Loose Setting Powder. It sets the skin to a really matte finish, but it's not overly drying and doesn't look cakey on the skin, and it doesn't make your skin feel tight. A lot of powders do that, and that is not what you want in the winter. It actually has more of a silky smooth texture to it, which is really nice in case you have dry skin or irritated skin. And this has really been working for me to set the makeup in place and hold it all day, especially under the eyes. But what I like to do is use my sponge for this area. I feel like I get a little more hydration from the sponge. And also, I don't know if it's just because it's almost like you're packing it in with the sponge, but I just think it lasts better. And now to set the makeup, I use the Urban Decay All Nighter Makeup Setting Spray, and this locks everything in place. It's gonna make your makeup last all day. I also feel like if you over powder your face, this kind of brings your skin back to life, gives a little bit more hydration, and that is it. All right, guys, I just put on a little more makeup to even everything out, but that is my winter foundation routine. I hope you guys like this, and I hope that you found it helpful. If you did, give me a thumbs up to let me know, and be sure to share your favorites. Like, what do you like to switch up for the winter? Let me know those products down below. Subscribe if you're new to my channel. Make sure to come back next week for a brand new video because I post here once a week. And thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.